Thank you. And who am I? Why do I get to be here? I have a degree in education, a degree in psychology. I think I've been teaching and or working with families now for like 25 years or something. I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I guess that's right. Yeah. I love the time I spent in San Mateo County, in particular with Star Vista, and then most recently with the CDC down in Redwood City. I now have a private practice in San Mateo. So, you know, I want to acknowledge as well, I happen to be a white person standing up here. I don't want to miss you. I want to be sensitive to your culture, the family's cultures that we are working with, and I'm open to talking with you about that, or now really wrestling with my privilege, trying to figure out how I fit in here and what I can do to be open and aware to that. So if you have anything right now that you want to say, you can. But I'm here, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think I've been thinking about this since I worked in very marginalized, underserved communities in New York in the 90s. But I was a baby. Like, I really didn't know enough, and so I want to know more, and I want to know if I missed you. So that's that. Our communities are hurting. I know that, and I guess it feels like a little bit of a conflict. Okay, how do we energize ourselves while also sitting with that? So I'm going to aim to do that. The theme is anchoring, so I really hope you can ground into that for yourself. And I want you to get that energy. So let's grapple with that together, because that does feel a little bit, as I was listening, I'm like, okay, we can do all that, you know, but I think we can do all of that. What are the expressive arts, and what if I'm not an artist? That's fine. I'm not an artist either. I grew up doing theater and things like that, and you know, I don't mind standing up here. However, I didn't draw or paint or use any of these materials until 2 years ago, when I really delved into what's called the person-centered expressive arts, which was created out of like sort of the humanistic, this guy Carl Rogers, who was all about, you know, reflective listening. His daughter created the expressive arts arm of that theory. So anyway, on your tables you have paper and crayons and water and markers and paints, and you have so many materials that I hope will inspire you to kind of just get curious and creative. And before you super dug in, I am going to invite you to get up out of your seats. So you don't have to get up out of your seat, but you know, if you don't understand one of the materials, or you're like, how do I use this? Just call me over, or Carla as well. There's water, which actually, oh yeah, you all have these things. Like, a lot of the things are water-based. This is a little bit of a technique thing. Like, this is a thing you can dip in water and then it becomes like paint. Also, like at the table with Moises, those are all water-based watercolors. So you can put them on your paper and then add water, and they kind of, I call them magic crayons when I work with the kids. So, and those are kind of magic crayons too that you touched at the end of that table. So ask me about that stuff, because there is sort of an element of that, and there's wipes and things like that. So I hope you don't worry too much about getting messy, and we just delve in. And all of these materials, not the materials, sorry, let me slow down. These things are for you to create and then take home or take back to the office. I didn't have one of these for everybody. So like, say if you take one of these, then, you know, your colleague gets 3 or 4 of the other little ones or something like that, you know. So, and the paper is there, you know, use 1 or 2 or 3 sheets. That should be more than enough. Okay, so because we started just a tiny bit late, I'm gonna do this little bit of, instead of a meditation, I'm gonna just play a song, and I'm gonna invite you to either, I don't know, are we feeling like we can get up and walk around a little bit? Yeah. Who's feeling like we can do that? Carla is, only Carla. Me and Carla and you are gonna be moving around. here's why. If you were there in July, it's really, we know this, right? This is for you, your families, and our kids. Our mind-body connection, the proprioceptor system, like all of this we're walking around with it really affects our mental ability to be present. And if we're not in our body on some level, I think we're just disconnected, and then we're more likely to, feel a bit depressed or overeat or drink or do those things that we don't do so, like when we're not doing so great. So let's make it a goal to do this. Not a goal. Let's be brave. And then after we sit back down, I'll just talk about the goals and I'll put up the prompts. So it's a little bit of a meaningful song in terms of finding your home and finding your anchor. You might know this song. So we are going to go in a bit, and delve into that idea. And when you're moving around the room, you don't have to look at anybody. You can just be more, it's almost like a mindful or meditative type walk. Or if you need to stretch, that's okay, you can go outside. It's a 4-minute long song, so we'll just be brave. Get up out of your seat, mingle around. You could also look at the other materials, be like, oh man, I want to sit at that table actually. I like that stuff. So, questions? Okay, let's see if this plays. I think it's going to. Oh yeah. Okay, don't everybody rush up. Roll those shoulders, just walk around. Just thinking about maybe your own intention for today. I'm just going to let you read this. I think in a way, City has already, and the goals of the cafe embody a lot of this. And I talked about the weather inside. How was that? Sorry. How was that? I mean, you got to say hi. I like that, walking around to music saying hi. It was social. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's good to see folks knowing one another and being so, just so comfortable and warm. That's a little bit of that connection, I hope. So a relaxation response, just take a couple of breaths now, in and out. So much research, as we all know, I think it's just permeated every part of, of our world in part. Just 5 minutes of breathing a day. I think they definitely whittled it down, 5 to 10. And I like to push the envelope and say, my art making is that, my singing in the shower is that, mindfulness, the prayer you might do, the playing on the floor with your kid for 10 minutes a day, if your kids are still in that phase. For me, it's like talking to her when, she's not wanting to. That's my mindfulness moment, like asking those creative questions to actually keep the dialogue going, right, with the tweens. So, I think that we're good with that. Any questions on this slide? I do hope to really elicit your confidence and creativity. Someone told me, oh, I'm not an artist. I don't want anyone to say that ever again. I disagree. Everyone is an artist. Look at this miracle. This body, this earth, we're spinning around on this globe. The sun came up. It's going to go down. It's going to come up again tomorrow. You can see the art of the world. Take a photo, a mindful photo. Sure, you can't represent stuff like Picasso or whomever, or you're not free to call who. Okay, that's fine. Me neither. But you get to play. That's another thing that research shows us is come in. Play reinvigorates us. We know we need to do it with those 0 to 5s, and of course on up to 10, 12. But with ourselves as well. This is what I want to do this is what I do with adults in part, but I want you to play and be silly and not know and be okay with using 3 sheets of paper, and even if you take one of these quotes home because you like it and you glue it in the middle and scribble all around it, yay, you did it. And you went left to right and you like reintegrated your right and left hemisphere, and you feel a little bit of that reduction in stress. This stuff is all grounded in research. I don't have it with me, but I could find it. It's out there. Okay, so we're going to do this art making till about 10:15. That might seem like a long time, but I'm feeling a little like, oh, it's not quite enough. We did the 4 minutes, and then we're going to go over there and we're going to group share. And if everybody shared, we'd only get a minute. So it's okay if you don't want to share. But some people might have quite an experience and they really do want to share. So when you are done, you know, you can go and start to place your art in the middle over there. And even if we just walk around it and you get to take in what's been created today, I hope that that will be inspiring. Okay. Oopsie. That's not what I meant to do. There. So those are some questions I've already asked to get you started. And I want you to either be with these questions within yourself or talk with your table mates about these things. I hope that you'll find art and quotes and paint that will inspire you. There's also mermaids and, you know, the wheel of the ship. Let the metaphor set sail in your mind and heart. Yeah, if you don't find something you like to use, walk around. I have a lot more images here that you can cut out. Sometimes collage can be just the, you know, an easier way in and paint and stuff. So you can come dig through my images, cut them up. There's one pair of left-handed scissors somewhere. If anybody's a lefty, let me know. What are you... we are aware you might be treading water. We're going to offer this day as a lifesaver. So this will be up here, so you can look at it. How will we take this work or these themes toward family engagement with young children? That should be with, or and, yeah. Think about community care and how do we help ourselves and help each other? How can we be an anchor for each other? Okay. Questions? Ready to make art? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the theme is our world is the greater of places, and I found all the words, so I cut them out. And I do believe that you know, when we're faced with a community, diversity, we don't have to think, okay, where is it that I'm coming from? What color I am? What language am I? Is that let's connect at a human level, and we're going to find all sorts of places and things and people in different states of mind. But as long as we have love and understanding and connectivity, we can relate at a human level. I do not believe that language. I lived in different places. I speak different languages, and I've been the new kid in my adult life many times, and I have found acceptance everywhere, and not everywhere, not everybody accepted me, but I found a niche everywhere I went, and I'm grateful. And I think that it's a paying forward, looking at people in the eye, not for where they come from, not for how they look like, but because we're humans. And nowadays, we're living in tough times in the world, socially, politically, and it affects us all. And as long as we can understand how much it affects others and look at it from their point of view and trying to understand where they're standing, then we can all be connected and not anchor ourselves just of, oh, this is who I am, this is how I look, this is how I speak, and this is my color. I don't believe in such a thing because experience has shown me differently. So that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, you can put it back. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Go for it. I'm like, I think that means you want to share. Yeah, there's not a big line.
Okay, well, I'm doing this, and I never used to be this way. I never stood up to give speeches or to talk about that funny. So I guess with life, you know, life goes on and you change. You kind of become a different person. So I guess, you know, I've been at that point. So, the props that we had at the table, some speak to us, right? So I guess I saw the kitty and the rabbits. I think and the ocean. I love nature. I'm new in this area. I came from Salinas. I've been in Monterey County for all my life, pretty much. I grew up there since I was 10. And, life changes happen, so here I am now. I have a new job. So I'm like a kitty, they're kind of shy and quiet and timid, and at the same time they're curious. So I think, that kind of describes me a little bit. And I love rabbits, I think they're sweet, they're gentle, they're caring, they're just, that kind of also describes who I am and the kind of work that I do. I work for preschool. I've worked in preschool for 17 years. And I work for the Alice Salinas School District in Salinas, and now I'm at the College of San Mateo Child Development Center. And I guess because it's a new life for me, a new beginning of life, new marriage, and a new job, and a new city. Everything is new. I'm not a risk taker. I've never been a risk taker, and all these changes are happening all at once. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful 3 weeks already. I've only been here I've been coming to visit, spend time with my fiance, but now that I'm here, this is my home now. Now I go back to Salinas to visit my family. I'm a mother of 3. My baby's 19 now, so, I kind of felt ready to move on and start my new life. So. Oh, Maricela is my name.
Wow. How brave. I would have never known you didn't like to stand up and speak. That is inspiring. Yeah. And so many folks that have just relocated, and that's a lot. So I'm glad that you can tap into this. Maybe you'll go to Michael's someday and get yourself some paper and remember to keep doing this, hopefully. Yeah, good luck.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Donna. I'll stand.
You don't have to stand up.
I
That's
really
not
like these
required.
a lot. I love art. I'm not the best of it or whatever, but I do like the way that it makes me feel and gives me time to be mindful and to breathe and to just, get a chance to talk to somebody or do something else, but like have my hands be moving. I like to move my hands a lot. What anchors me and what I really like about what Sandra said is that connection piece, the relationships. That's what anchors me to the work that I do, to everything that I do. It's being able to connect with different people on a personal level and find out what are some things that we have in common and what are things that we're trying to move forward with and what are the ways that we're different and how can we acknowledge that. And then I put in pictures of nature, of hikes. I really like to, that's what anchors me, is being out in nature, taking the time for myself to breathe and figure out where am I, where do I want to go, and how do I want to do that. And it says here, with you, I'm anchored forever. So with the people with you, whoever you are at this present moment, that's what anchors me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And other people can feel free to chime in. I want this to be a time for you to continue that anchoring with one another. Yes.
I think this activity was great in the sense that, I just kind of just colored something, but being able to listen to other folks and watching observing how they are using the materials was really actually calming for me.
I'm glad you said that, because then you can think about, if you're working with children and families, how that can work, and you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff. It can be as simple as markers and just copy paper. Not that I know that's simple, but whatever you might have around your offices or agencies. And then I find too, when I'm working with kids in particular who don't speak a lot, who aren't as, cognitive and putting words to their feelings and thoughts and memories, I draw and I let them draw. I don't draw in a way, like I can't represent things in the real world. That's my kind way to say it to myself. So I'll draw circles or images, and so it's nothing that they're going to look at and be like, oh, I wish I could do that. I don't think. So I hear that. I think that's vital because there's something, I think what we're doing there is that neuron thing, that mirror neuron thing maybe. Thank you. Yeah, it's calming because we're observing. We're not in ourself maybe. Does that fit for you? Mm-hmm. Something like that? Great observation, thank you. Yeah, so we still have 20 minutes, so don't be shy if you feel as though you want to share or you want to reflect on something somebody else has said or comment. That's what this time is for. It's for you. Because we want to reserve the last 10 minutes for you filling out the cards that they had. Go for it. Good. Be brave.
Mine is very simple. One of the notes that we have in the table, it says, I refuse to sing. So that's why I did this one. This is me all through the years. I started purple, but through the years you get different things, codes, and different colors of the purples and purple. Here are the different waves. They are coming, but I'm still here, I'm still me. And I have a necklace of flowers because I try to be positive. The waves are coming, and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm still here, still.
Wow. Can you pass it around? Is that okay? Thank you. Yeah, you don't have to do that.
So, similar to the idea, I started painting because I didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to write first, and I was like, is it going to smear or something? So my neighbor said, I can't remember her name, why don't you paint it first? And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I painted. Oh, sorry. So I started painting, and I wanted to paint both sides because my life and my work is always English and Spanish, and I'm always translating and interpreting and translating documents, and so it's always English and Spanish. So when I was painting, it's like, do the colors mean anything? In this side, no. But here I wanted red at the bottom, representing love, because that's what drives me, love for my family, my work, and everything. And then I started mixing the colors with a mixture of everything. And the idea that I had was I was going to write all the words that are going to keep me like strong. And how can I be that anchor for my family and the anchor for the other family? So now I was going to write the words in Spanish and English, both mixed, not one side Spanish and one side English. Because we're not one side, we're both sides all the time. We're moms and we're family engagement. We are moms and we are sisters and friends. And, so it's that feeling that what do we need? I came up with a long list. And I'm like, what is important? Everything is important. But we just need to decide and we just stay strong. So that was my thought. And you can see.
Are you planning to add the words later?
Yes, but I started. I don't have a beautiful writing, and so I have to like think really well because I really want to put it up. And if it comes like not pretty, I'm not gonna put it up. I know that.
So one thought I have for you to hang it is instead of hanging it on a wall, hang it on a wire.
Yes, yeah, and I have a perfect place in my office where I picture it, you know, because it's like I can see it. But anyways, yeah, we'll see.
Can I suggest something?
Yes.
You said that you didn't write words because of your penmanship is not the most beautiful. And there's something I'm very new at my job, but there's something that I tell the families that live with me that they're just starting learning English, mostly at the school where I am. There's 64% of the population is Hispanic. and there are many families that just arrived into the country. So they said, well, you know, I'm afraid of speaking English, and I don't want to do it. And my thing is, it doesn't matter how it comes out. We all have, you know, broken language or broken something. The thing is putting yourself out there to speak up, to let your voice be heard, even if it's not perfect. Otherwise, your time will, you know, come and go, and you will miss out. Just speak up. You will be understood, and that is. Who cares how your penmanship looks? I really don't. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm going to interrupt 1 second. I wonder, would you read a couple of things you wrote on your list? Is that? Yeah. Because I can also really connect with writing and being in a group, and like I get way discombobulated. So yeah.
I underlined the ones that I wanted to write. Is like love, friendship, trust, authenticity, strength, humildad, humility, and knowledge, wisdom, hope, and time. I think time is very important. Not the time that you have 15 minutes, it's the time that you're present with whoever you're spending the time with.
Thank you. There you go. We got it in our minds now. We can all take it home with us. Yeah. Who else would like to share who hasn't shared?
I just want to make a comment. I'm not ready to share, but it's interesting to see how we all process what we're carrying around. But I don't think it's easy. It's very, very hard. And I wonder how we can create spaces for families to do something like this without feeling so foreign, without feeling like, God, this is really hard. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. Because they don't have that space.
No.
We're actually in our table mentioning that how fun it would be for parents to just kind of have a night to just sit and just paint with other parents.
Right.
Just to paint. I mean, just how would it be even with your own families? I was telling my table that I'm trying to do it once a month, get all my nieces and nephews in together, like to spend time.
Beautiful.
So far I've only come up with movie night, and I was like, well, you can only do movie night for so long, then they get tired, and their ages are so different. We're starting from a 5-year-old up to a 23-year-old, and I was like, this would be so cool just to have them sit and all kind of, even though they're all different ages, relate, because you're just painting. There's no expectation. It's just do whatever you want. Let's see what comes out of it, and you guys, and help each other out or whatnot. So I think for parents, it would be really. It would be a good thing just to kind of like sit there and just disconnect and just free and paint and
I mean, what if we partnered? I mean, I know a lot of expressive arts types therapists and I'm always trying to find a way from my private practice to stay committed and connected to community work. Like what if I opened my office up one Friday night a month or something? Or maybe 4 times a year. Let me not overcommit. I never like quite know how that will work, but I feel like it's about resources, I'm guessing. It's about space and time and childcare. But if the whole family came, I think, I mentioned that when I was working down, looking at Moises, because I was down at the CDC, and I was saying to Edna Carmona, like, how can I stay, committed and helpful in doing this, even though I'm leaving. But so I'm willing to like get your name and number and think about something like that. I don't know how you titrate it because I'm sure the list would be long to come do that. Love these. Let's keep that on the table. Yeah.
I have a comment. I think that as professionals, I think it's good to have like a coloring book or a puzzle.
Yeah.
I do Sudoku, so I have like a Sudoku calendar. So I sit there and I make time each day to like 5 minutes to just like refocus and concentrate on something else completely different. I think that it would be it's a good resource for us as professionals.
Yes.
So I am with Help Me Grow San Mateo County, and we also work with the Family Resource Center. If any of you are familiar with Carolina Valladares, the
Family Resource Center. It's what she oversees, and as well as myself. We actually have a support group in East Palo Alto, and we are switching it from a support group to something like this for parents, just because we've had conversations with them about how they take care of themselves, like what is self-care for them, especially when they have a child with special needs and they have to be managing therapies, IEPs, go here and go there. So we came up with the idea of having something like this once a month for parents, as well as presentations, and try to steer away from the support group, just because we've noticed that in the culture in East Palo Alto, they're kind of like, we don't really get the point of it. So families have shared that going to this support group, that's their 1 hour of them time.
Nice.
So we just want you to have that in mind, that if you do have families, please do refer them over to the Family Resource Center if they have a child with special needs. I have my business card and I can give them out, so you can give them my number. And we're hoping to start this in maybe like the next 2 to 3 months. But right now the support group is still going on, and next month we're going to have an IEP. So then after that, then we want to get something like this started. And we do have a space. We usually do it in the YMCA in East Palo Alto. And then we also have a new space at the Little Blue House. So we're from the primary school. We're going to be using some of their space.
To do it up north too?
So up north, there is a support group, but I've never been a part of it. So I don't know if they would be doing activities like this, which maybe not. For us, all the families that are down south, East Palo Alto, or Central Park, if they're willing to come and join us, then
And if I can, just a quick note, if I can just put in a plug for our team, that this is exactly the intent of these Friday cafes. So as you see connections with what you're doing and with what we are trying to cultivate here, please feel free to step in just as you did. Thank you so much for doing that. Because that's what this is all about. As was pointed out earlier, a lot of times we may not be aware of the resources that are right here within our own county. And as being anchors for one another, please do feel that this is your home for 2 hours for once a month, to share these types of resources so that we can really hold the space for our families and support them to be strong.
Yeah, I would like to mention that this came perfect for me for a few reasons, right? This week was one of those weeks that I didn't really take time for myself. So it was for me, right, it was great because I had that time to center and then like recharge. But then also it gives me this remind me, because I have done this before, the importance of we bringing this to the families, right? I work in behavioral health in San Mateo County, and I have a support group in Redwood City at the I co-facilitate in Redwood City at the Shasta Clinic. It's a South Youth team, and it's a community open group, and it's the first Tuesday of the month. And there's it's in Spanish, and it's a Café para Padres, is the name. And my colleague Karen, she's going to start facilitating with me. And so we have a 2 hours group, and this is a peer group. We share resources, and also we discuss important topics going on, or also supporting the parents with any issues they are going through. So we brainstorm. But then I try to bring also presenters sometimes if they are interested in knowing about like drug prevention, or like how to support kids with ADHD and other topics. And I try to bring someone that is more knowledgeable about the subject, so they get more out of it. But I see that this is like a perfect space for them, because they don't really do these things. I mean, they don't really have that space for themselves. So I think they can somehow the group and do something like that where they can express in art. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Great.
And also like for the immigration climate going on,
Yes.
I would like to share this, that some of the ones that were here were members of that committee, is the Immigration Forum, right? It meets the third Thursday of the month from 9 to 11, and it's usually at the Red Cross in Burlingame, but sometimes it goes to other community, so go to the community agencies.
Okay.
And what they do, what we do is we share resources for that, mostly for the immigrant families and also for the agencies, and there is an attorney that brings the latest updates in immigration. So
Okay,
that's
great.
a great group, and maybe I can send information to some of you so you can share that.
That would be good.
Maybe to Carla?
I have an offer also for everybody, because I hear a strong interest to be bringing arts to families. So I'm a facilitator in a model that's called Family Arts Nights. It's in a larger context, comes out of a family literacy movement where you bring parents and kids into a school in the evening or a Saturday to experience math or art or social studies or whatever, but together experiencing a lesson. So I bring in a lot of artists to do family arts nights with districts. But what I was thinking actually is in my role in the county office as the arts coordinators, I could offer a PD at the county office, PD professional development for all of you, separate from Friday Cafe, but you'd all be invited if Cindy wants to share, the list where it would literally be what is Family Arts Night and how to start doing it with your communities, and it would be like sample activities, some curriculum, some list of resources, some opportunities to brainstorm around ways to do it either low budget or for free, because there's also a lot of resources within the community. There might be a mom who's a ballet folklorico dancer, so you hire her or you bring her in and let her come in for leadership and lead it one night, or whatever. There'd be lots of things that we could sort of brainstorm together about where are the strengths that are already in the community that we're not noticing, but also here's some curricular ideas and places to get low cost or free materials or whatever. So I'd be happy to do that.
Cool.
And I'm just calling
Okay, I
Family
think
Arts Nights.
awesome. Last thought, and then I think we need to move back to the tables, and Carla has some little feedback forms. Oh, Carla, there's one last thought right here, or quick.
Is it
Colleen?
okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure if we were able to share about programs or not. My name's Colleen, and I'm a volunteer with the PTA, which is the Parent Teacher Association. And this project is basically, we have a program that's called School Smarts. And we wanted to help parents advocate for arts at school, because arts, music, drama always connect. But when we met with parents and talked about it, they were like, well, I don't even know how to navigate through school. I mean, I don't even know how to communicate best with the teacher, and this sort of thing. And so we have a program where parents learn about their child's learning style and the best ways to communicate and how the school district works and how the school system's set up and how to prepare for college. But every lesson in this curriculum has art incorporated in it. And when that is exactly what I observed today at all the tables, if you bring a group of parents in and they don't know anyone and they're really shy and they may not speak the language, as soon as you start the activity, then the next thing you know, they're talking about their children, they're sharing about their family. They're like, oh, I have that challenge too, or oh, that's a great idea. So I'd be happy to send the information about our program, because it is available to any school that is interested in building family engagement. And after parents participate, that information helps build confidence to be able to speak up about things that they value, but also to take on leadership positions, and also help with a little bit of the fear that is happening, because it's a very safe space.